Hello everyone, Charles Watts here, the Arsenal correspondent at Goal, joining you on match day. I'm not sure how exciting Arsenal versus Sheffield United is, or Sheffield United versus Arsenal is at this stage of the season, given what's going on in the Europa League and given where Arsenal are in the Premier League and given where Sheffield United are in the Premier League. It's a little bit of what you would describe as a dead rubber, although Mikel Arteta certainly won't describe it as that. He won't be throwing in the towel just yet in terms of getting Arsenal into the European places via the Premier League, but I think we all know it's looking pretty unlikely anyway. Having said that, I will be making the long trip up to Bramall Lane later today, so look out for all my reports and sort of live tweets from that one. Hopefully we can have a more exciting game than it kind of sounds like it might be, but there are some big issues for Arsenal going into that game that I wanted to talk about. Then obviously I'd end with my usual predicted 11, look at some of the big decisions Mikel Arteta is facing. And the big news is there's no Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. David Ornstein over The Athletic reporting last night that Aubameyang is out with flu, which has certainly raised a few eyebrows on social media, considering there was a report fairly recently that there hasn't been one person who has been diagnosed with flu in the UK during the pandemic because of what's going on with coronavirus. But who knows, that's apparently why he is out, because he has flu. There was no pictures of Aubameyang in training yesterday, so that certainly appears to back that one up. Obviously, there's a lot of conspiracy theorists around there, given what's going on with Auba at the moment, given he's not been playing in the team. He was left out against Tottenham a few weeks back, that maybe this is a result of some sort of fallout from with Mikel Arteta. But who knows, we'll have to speak to Mikel after the game, find out his take on it. But the official reason, or certainly the reason that's been reported by David, is that he is out with flu. So that certainly raises a few different options for Mikel in terms of what he's going to do with his forward line. I will discuss a couple of those options during this video, look at, especially when I talk about my predicted 11, some of the big decisions facing him in terms of who leads the line. But yeah, it's an interesting one with Aubameyang, isn't it? It's just going to be another thing that adds to the ongoing story that seems to be getting bigger and bigger as the weeks go on about Aubameyang and Arsenal and Arteta and the relationship. And is everyone happy there with how that is going? Obviously, Auba's not been scoring the type of goals, the amount of goals that we expected. He certainly hasn't hit the sort of form that we thought he would after signing that new contract. His form has gone the other way. Had been so prolific, so consistent since joining from Borussia Dortmund a few years ago, but then ever since that contract's been signed, then the goals have dried up, the performances have dried up, and his place in the team has certainly been called into question for the first time since he came to Arsenal. He's obviously been left out a few times. We all know what happened against Spurs. Kind of worked out for Arsenal that day with Lacazette starting and Arsenal going on to win and Lacazette getting the winner. But I think we all know that for Arsenal are going to be a better team if Aubameyang is at the top of his game and scoring goals. When he's not in the team, then the goal threat is drastically reduced, and Arsenal don't score many goals anyway. So you kind of want Auba to be there, and you want him to be happy, settled, feeling good. And unfortunately, that's not happening at the moment. And this is only going to add to that. So what do you think? Do you believe it? Do you think it's flu? Do you think it's down to something else? And who should Arsenal play up front today against Sheffield United? As always, please do let me know in the comments below. I have my own sort of theories on it and what I think Mikel should do, especially as it looked like Emile Smith-Rowe is out as well. And when you add on top of that, Martin Odegaard is out. He wasn't in training, and suddenly Arsenal have got real issues in terms of their forward line. You're missing some of their real key players. No Aubameyang, but also crucially, perhaps more crucially, no number 10s. You'd either have Smith-Rowe as number 10 or you'd have Odegaard as number 10. Without them, suddenly you're back to where Arsenal were in October, November, when they were creating absolutely nothing. They had no link man between the midfield and the attack, and the goals dried up, the chances dried up, and the football was pretty horrific. So that is a bit of a worry going into this one. I know Aubameyang obviously is the big headline news, but I think Smith-Rowe being out as well, and suddenly not having that link between the midfield and attack is perhaps more important for Arsenal today. And it's going to be very interesting in terms of what Mikel does to try and counter that. Does he switch the formation up? Does he play someone like Willian at number 10? Something I'll look at a little bit more later on in this video. I just wanted to talk about Gabriel Martinelli, though, because Mikel Arteta has been speaking about Gabby, explaining a little bit more why perhaps he's not been playing as regularly as we all wanted, and talking about the frustrations from fans about why, about them wanting Gabriel in the team. So this is what he had to say when he was asked about the frustration, if he could understand why there was so much talk about Gabriel Martinelli's absence. He says, "That I understand. When the team is not winning football matches, we always look for someone else to do it. I respect that, and Gabby is doing really well. He's doing better every day. He is getting the right development. We have to be a little bit patient with him, but he has a bright future at the club, and he will have all the opportunities that he needs to show how good he is here and to have the career he wants to have with us." You kind of feel like with Gabriel Martinelli, it kind of feels a little Phil Foden-esque, really, what's going on with him and what's going on at Man City when Foden wasn't in the team for those years under Guardiola, and constantly it was all like, why is Foden not playing? Why is Foden not playing? And Guardiola was always, look, he's playing enough, he's getting enough minutes, be patient, he's very, very young. And now, obviously, we're seeing him in the team an awful lot since David Silva left. And it kind of feels like this is a bit of a similar situation. Obviously, Mikel Arteta played a big part in Phil Foden's development as well at Manchester City. So he will probably have that sort of thing in his head when he's looking at what he's doing with Gabby at the moment. But I think the difference slightly is Man City had an awful lot of players playing very, very well. That was what would keep Foden out. The frustration here at Arsenal is that we're seeing some very underperforming players keeping Martinelli out of the side. And I think that's why we're so frustrated. There is no real excuse for why he's in the team ahead of Willian at the moment. You look at that game on Thursday night, who would have been more effective on the left-hand side, Willian or Gabriel Martinelli? I think we all know it would have been Gabriel Martinelli, who would have certainly caused Slavia Prague far more problems with his direct running and his willingness to attack the space and run towards the goal rather than run away from it like Willian does. So that is a bit of a little bit of a difference when you talk about the whole Foden-Martinelli comparison. Mikel was also asked, so why isn't he playing? Why do we have to wait? Why do we need to be patient with Gabby? And he said, we cannot put 6 or 7 young kids out there. We need some cohesion. We need the timing. Gabby has a lot of things to improve. He has some big qualities as well. And we have some other players in those positions. And when we have to create links within the team and balance within the team, this will come. Again, I'm not really sure about that. It's not, he says, well, we can't put 6 or 7 kids out there. He doesn't put 6 or 7 kids out there, really, does he? Basically got Bukayo Saka and Emil Smith-Rowe. Other than that, there's not really many kids out in that Arsenal team. So I don't really buy that excuse. And yes, there are other players in those positions, but the question is, are those other players in those positions as good or going to be as effective as Gabriel Martinelli? Willian hasn't scored a goal yet this season. He's played nearly 30 games. Or probably more than 30 games. I haven't looked at the exact number. Yes, he's got 5 assists. He's Arsenal's leading assist maker, but most of those are from crosses out from out wide. They're not really from creating too much and causing the team too much problems with the ball at his feet. It's a little bit different. So I'm not too sure about those reasons from Mikel. I'm sure he believes them and thinks he's right, but they don't really stack up too well for me when it comes to Martinelli. I think, me, like all of you guys, I do think that we should be seeing Gabriel Martinelli playing more, certainly at the moment. And I absolutely didn't understand the reasoning for him not starting against Slavia Prague on Thursday night when it was Willian who got the nod instead. That was a little bit frustrating, and I'm really hoping we do see Gabriel Martinelli unleashed and given a full start and a proper opportunity to show what he can do today at Bramall Lane. So look at just a little bit more on that Martinelli thing, sort of looking at the big decisions Mikel has to make today. Obviously, with no Aubameyang, it's like who do you play up front? Lacazette played as central striker on Thursday night, and he did against Liverpool as well. Didn't really do too much. Obviously, missed a big chance on Thursday night. So what do you do here? If Auba is genuinely ill and they might be out for Thursday night, do you give Lacazette a rest for the second leg over in Slavia Prague, and do you play Martinelli as a central striker? Personally, that is absolutely what I would go for. I would give Sheffield United some real something to fear in terms of pace and running in behind. They're not going to worry about that with Lacazette starting up front, especially if you have to start Willian, which I think you probably do if you're going to play without Odegaard and Smith-Rowe. I think Willian may well play at number 10 if Mikel sticks with the 4-2-3-1 formation. Then suddenly you've got a lack of pace and movement around there anyway. If you've got to add Lacazette to that, then I don't think it's going to cause Sheffield United too many problems. They're not going to be too worried about running in behind. But I think if you play Martinelli as that player, as that central striker, and you have Pepe and Saka on the wings, then you've got an awful lot of pace, an awful lot of direct running for Sheffield United to worry about, and that's going to cause them a lot of problems and going to give them an awful lot to think about. And Sheffield United are a team that likes to sort of press, get up with their the way their defenders attack as well down the flanks, and that's going to create opportunities behind them to exploit. Nicolas Pepe had a fantastic performance at Sheffield United in the FA Cup last season in the quarter-final, scored the penalty and caused them all sorts of problems. It was one of his better performances in an Arsenal shirt. And I think that's because there was so much space behind him for him to run in. I think if you add Saka and Martinelli to that mix, I think that's going to make Arsenal pretty potent going forward. But if you play Lacazette as a central striker, Sheffield United aren't going to be too worried about him running into the space behind, because we all know he's not exactly the fastest, as we saw when he went through 1-on-1 the other day. So that's a big decision for Mikel, is what you do with the forward line now with no Aubameyang and no Smith Rowe and Odegaard. You could also have the option of playing switching formations up and not playing with a number 10 and almost going back to the back three, or definitely going back to the back three and having wing backs, and then you could play Saka as the left wing back, Cedric as a right wing back, or Bellerin as right wing back, have three centre backs of Holding, Mari and Gabriel, and then almost play Nicolas Pepe and Lacazette, or Martinelli and Lacazette as a strike force up front, and so play a sort of 3-4-3 or 3-4-1-2 or whatever it is you want to play. So that is an option for Mikel as well, to switch up and go with the wing backs and a back three, and that would give, I think, potentially without Kieran Tierney as well, that gives an opportunity to play Saka as a left-sided player, but not having him really having to worry too much about defensively, because you've got the centre back cover behind him of the extra man, and he's got you've got license to go forward down that side as well. So they're the big decisions, I would say, for Mikel. If he does go 4-2-3-1, I don't think we're going to be seeing Saka at left back, just because of the lack of Odegaard and Smith Rowe. If you take Saka out of that forward line as well and play him at left back, then you really are limiting yourselves as an attacking threat. So lots for Mikel to think about. Also, do you change things up in the central midfield? Thomas Partey obviously didn't play too well on Thursday night. So plenty for Mikel to ponder when it comes to his team selection. Right, just before I go today, just closing, I'll give you my predicted 11. Obviously, as always, this isn't the guarantee of what he's going to do. This is me presuming what he's going to do. There's no information coming from Arsenal about what it is, but I think he's going to stick with the 4-2-3-1, and this is the team I think Mikel might go for. Leno in goal, Bellerin, Holding, Mari and Cedric. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Mari come in and Gabriel potentially getting the afternoon off, or the evening off. Central midfield of Xhaka and Partey, and then the forward line of Saka, Willian, Pepe, and I've got a sneaky feeling we are going to see Martinelli for the first time from a start since that game against Manchester United way back in January. So that's the team I think we might see today. I'll go through that one more time for you. Leno, Bellerin, Holding, Mari, Cedric, Xhaka, Partey, Saka, Willian, Pepe and Martinelli. Right, that's it from me. Bit of a short, sharp one today. Like I said, I am heading up to Bramwell Lane later, so do keep an eye out for me on social media. I'll be doing live updates from the game as always, and match reaction straight away on goal after the full time whistle. Thank you for watching, everyone. Enjoy your Sunday, and I'll speak to you very, very soon.